Thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Wednesday, September 29th edition of our video devotionals, and we appreciate you being with us today. I hope your Wednesday's going well. And I know we say this every time, but it is the truth. You're halfway through another work week and school week, and that's always good. You get through or past that hump, as we call it. So that's always awesome. Then, of course, Wednesday evening Bible study, if you're able to attend that, then that'd be great. And hopefully you can do that if at all possible. Well, we're going to kind of jump into things here pretty quick. I've got a lot more information than I normally would have, so I want to kind of get you in and out. We're trying to keep these under 6 minutes. We've been doing pretty good the last couple of days, to be honest with you. Kind of proud of myself on that. But kind of the grab and go variety of devotions, and I know there's others that have some that are more lengthy, and for good reasons. I mean, they've got things they need to cover and we'll cover, but we're going to try to do these a little bit quicker, okay? All right, so our theme at church this past September for Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon has been I Love God Sunday. Our very first sermon is basically, I'm going to give just a very, very quick synopsis of what we talked about then, and then we're going to use the word understanding as it was found in one of the passages. So to help us understand this, Deuteronomy 6:5 is an important reference to turn to if you want to do that. Deuteronomy 6:5, and then Mark chapter 12 and verses 28 through 33. So I'm turning here to Deuteronomy 6:5. I was just going to kind of quote it a little bit, or at least give you the contents, but I'm going to go ahead and read it, make sure we don't misquote it. So Jesus was asked a question there, and he refers back to this particular passage, and he said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. So if you can remember heart, soul, and might, that's what Deuteronomy 6:5 says. Now, we are in Mark chapter 12. Let me read verse number 28. It says this, and one of the scribes came and having heard them reasoning together and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all? And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Now notice this in verse 30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. Now notice Deuteronomy 6:5 said heart, soul, and might. Jesus speaks here and says heart, soul, mind, and strength. And certainly the word might, or any of those things that are said, heart or soul, you can incorporate any aspects of our thinking or our physical strength, any of that. But he does specifically say here, heart, soul, mind, and strength. So focus there on that mind aspect. Then the scribe said to him, well, master, thou hast said the truth, for there is one God, and there is none other but he. And to love him with all the heart and with all the understanding. Now there's the word we're using this week, understanding. So he says heart, understanding, and with all the soul and with all the strength, and to love his neighbor as himself is more than all whole burnt offerings and sacrifices. And when Jesus saw that he answered discreetly, he said unto him, thou art not far from the kingdom of God. Now going back to this, now this particular issue is addressed in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Matthew, it's heart, soul, and mind. Mark, we just, of course, noticed it was heart, soul, mind, and strength. The book of Luke is heart, soul, strength, and mind. And then, of course, going back to Mark there, when the scribe said, I hear what you're saying, and he says to him back, love him with all the heart and with all the understanding, soul, and strength. So the understanding is what I want to look at today. How do you love God with your understanding? Well, that's a good question. It's kind of like any of those, all right? How do we love God with all the heart and with all the soul? And as I told our people, so that we have to figure that out. God would not tell us something that we could not possibly attain. And one of those things that helps us with the heart, the soul, or the might, or the mind, or the strength, and then the understanding here is the fact that God says, you know what, to help you understand how to do that, then I'm going to give you an understanding. So that means that when it comes to the things of God, when you hear something from the Bible, I know there's things we don't always understand. I know there's things we accept by faith. I get that. But you know what? If God says that we're supposed to love him with all our mind, then certainly it takes an aspect of thinking about how we would do that. Literally just thinking. So obviously you have the words of God. These are words. The mind, when it sees a word, then it relates to something that it has heard before or learned before. It's just like when I was a kid and I was in first grade, they started showing these flashcards, and it said, see Bill run. All right. Well, when I was playing around and someone used the word run. Hey, don't run in there, or slow down. You're running too fast, or don't run in the house, or don't run at church. Me and my buddies, we get to church, we love to see each other. We bolted outside to run around. And so the word run, 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 we associated that with our actions. When someone used the word dog, see the dog. Well, they pointed at a creature. Before I knew what the word dog was, I guess I could see this furry little creature, has ears, he has tails, he's running around, he's barking. And someone said, that's a dog. So my mind said, okay, then that's a dog. You get that? The sky is blue. All these things, our mind relates to these things. So when we hear the things of God and God gives us truths, then not only does God want us to have a comprehension that God can give us, but how about to love him with all of our understanding? In other words, how to understand to love God with everything we have. I think that's important. So we just have to ask God, say, God, I want you to help me understand what that means. And God says, since I want you to love me with all your mind, with all your understanding, then I'll certainly do that. And to not take the time and the effort to do that then would reveal our lack of love to God in order to try to accomplish that. So that's what we want to do. So we're at 6 minutes, 15 seconds here. So we're going to close with that. I think it gives you enough information to think about it. And certainly we should love God. And let's try to understand more the things of God so that we can love him more with our understanding, with our mind. Okay? Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow as we continue on with our study of understanding. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.